with Rescue and Sella, we are gonna be dropped off right into Hyrule, and looks like all except for one runner two runners, sorry, decided to go to Link's house. We have a map in the Sanctuary chest and a pack of bombs in Link's house. And I saw a map check there. Did you catch that? I barely caught it.
I saw crystals, regular crystals at Tower Fair and Eastern Palace, and I did not catch what Desert Palace was.
I want to say it was a 5-6 crystal in Eastern, but I barely catched it.
₹20 from the uncle in this year. You pocket your life savings from this his life savings from this dying man, because Link's a decent guy, you know. Loots the dead.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. The bushcrat had bombs, but the way it ran for Trident Tail, it dropped that bomb into the lumberjack, so Trident Tail was not able to pick it up. And just a heart container on the lumberjack ledge, so we're probably not going to see that.
Luckily for Trident Tail, he's got another bushcrat coming up right here in the Lost Woods, so he can farm that one just to get a few more bombs. Speaking of bombs, Kirito is... I haven't seen this before. He's actually picking up the bombs that red guard on the parapet is using to bomb the blue guards outside of Hyrule Castle. I think he's hoping for some drops there.
I think Kirito might have been hoping to get the tier 2 pull from the tree. And there's a blue boomerang in the Thief's hideout in the Lost Woods.
Yeah, Sotify picks it up too, and Brain is actually skipping Kakariko and going to South Shore first, starting off with the dam. He finds 3 bombs in the front of the dam, so all that bomb farming is kind of unnecessary at this point with all these early bombs.
Yeah. And a heart piece. Looks like Buane is gonna skip out on that heart piece and instead gonna go straight for Agina. That's interesting.
This is unusual routing, but I like it. He don't often get the early Agina. Sometimes runners are just putting him off until the very last possible moment, and then he has the power gloves. But in this case, the power gloves in the bottom of Blind's hideout in Kakariko, so...
I assume that I've seen a few runners opt to do like the dam area and then go to Agina, and then do mini Mulrum and Ice Rock Cave.
Agina had a green potion in the bottle, so it's a useful item. It doesn't really unlock progress except for checking the sick kit, and if the sick kit has something, then yeah, that could be an important Agina. But so far, it's just a fetch quest for now, and safety.
And that said, even that Agina check was not necessary because the well did have a bottle as well. Not as useful as green goo. It had a bee in it, but and a lantern is in the well as well. But all the runners can check sick kit early on here during their Kakariko run through.
Yeah, it looks like Brain is also looting the dead here in the Hyrule Castle series, and he's not saving a critting, so perhaps he's going to clear out the front of escape.
Yeah, with 9 bombs and the boomerang to stun the guards, might be worth doing.
This is super unusual ruling from Brain. I don't think he even did Mini Modom Cave, did he?
Did not, no.
So, yeah, he's basically going for the big gambles here, hoping he can find something really important from checks that other runners may put off until later, and then use those items to get himself a big advantage. The sick kid at ₹20, so those bottles are just safeties for today's seed. Ooh, silver's in the first chest of Hyrule Castle Escape. That is a nice find. Now we did get some information that the bow is actually on the library ledge, so we're going to be seeing boots sometime. We're going to be getting that bow, and we're going to be able to use silvers to with that bow. Assuming our other runner's going to escape, of course. Okay, there's another map check, and that was a blue pendant at Desert.
Yeah, so pendant desert and regular crystals on Hera and Keystone. All blue. And light blue.
Piece of heart in the vanilla boomerang chest in the Castle Escape. And Trident Tail is going to give us a look at the back of Escape. And so is Saltify.
Yeah, with the power glove and bomb in tow. Nothing really standing in the way of checking these free item locations. Very fast to get there too.
Some cash and the Ether Medallion. Not too bad.
Now, we don't know if we're going to need that Ether Medallion, but, you know, it might be required. Could be the entrance to Trail Rock and or Misery Mire.
And there's a Cane of Burner in Zelda's chest. So, fun for Escape not really having any necessary items, but definitely useful items.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, when it comes to the logic, Cane of Burner might be required for Spike Cave later on.
True, but if you have enough heart containers and bottles, the logic actually takes that into account that you can just brute force your way through. I'm not sure how many heart containers and bottles it is for it to be put into logic, but I know if you do have enough bottles, you can just logic just thinks, yep, you can just walk through and chug reds to get to the back and loot that item. Now, Spotify is checking at the back of Shashka's hut. Nothing important there.
Yeah. And now Buin is finally gonna go and check the mini Moldorum cave here. It's a convenient bomb drop.
And Trident Tail is headed up Death Mountain with the old man, so we've got all of our runners going in different directions here. Old man just gives us 5 rupees because he's just an old man in a cave. What's he gonna do with cash?
Well, speaking of caves, the mini Moldorum cave actually had a decent amount of value. We had flippers, the Moon Pearl, and a third bottle. 10 minutes in, and we already have 3 bottles found. Not even 10 minutes, actually. It looks like Buin is going to use the flippers and being able to swim a bit faster. Wasn't a glove in Spectacle Rock there in Trident Tail's end?
I honestly missed it.
They're going for it, so it definitely had to be something interesting.
Even if it's nothing, well, the fact that he checked it out is actually interesting by itself, because with the advent of the hint tiles, oh, that's Titan Smiths.
Yeah, it is a glove upgrade.
Super nice find for Trident Tail. And the hint tile is useless. But what I was trying to say is that a lot of runners don't bother doing the check anymore. They just dive straight into the cave, because even if it's a useless item, you've still got a chance of getting a hint there. But in this case, It was really useful item, completely useless hint tile.
And Salty Fry is using Beast Strats here for the mini Moldorum cave.
But the bee only kills 2 of the Moldoms and then decides to leave, so back to bombs.
And we're also going to see what the Hobo has for us here on Buin's side, who has opted to do some flipper checking.
Kirito looks like he is just going to go to Death Mountain, but hopped off before he went down into Rock and decided he's going to loot the back of Escape instead.
And there's the reason why he lives under the bridge. Just a single rupee.
Honestly, Link is a huge jerk in this game. He loots his dead uncle for cash. He loots some guy just sitting under the bridge for cash.
Emptying everybody's
old man
wallets.
up a mountain who just wants to find his way back to a safe cave for cash. Using those flippers, Brain finds 2 pieces of heart in the waterfall cave. And speaking of bullies who take all your cash, he's not going to be able to check out King Zora just yet, because he's only on 340 rupees. Solidify, on the other hand, has well over 500 rupees, so he's going to be checking out King Zora. And so
Yeah.
Brain is just going to be seeing the item here, which is 20 rupees.
Yeah, Blaine did not go to Kakariko yet, which is why Blaine was not able to accrue as much cash as the other runners have. Since there were like a few 50 rupee stashes there. It looks like Blaine picked up the blue mail somewhere on the way as well. I missed where that was.
I missed it too. It's a bit hard to keep up with track for runners right now, because
Must
they're
have
all
been-
going in different directions. Shoutouts to trackers for Full
Yeah.
Metal and Demo for keeping us on track. Oh, there's a blue mail right in Ice Rod Cave.
It's I would say that's a chocolate blue mail because in the original game, the blue mail is in Ice Palace, and that was like Ice Rock Cave.
Yeah, that's not quite French vanilla. We could call that Belgian vanilla, perhaps?
And we learn that the green pendant is sitting at Pod. So that makes that levels up Pod from it already having a decent amount of 5 items to actually having 6 items once if you clear it and hand in the pendant to Sahasraham.
Gotta be wondering into those boots up there, because we need that bow to clear Eastern Palace. It's crystal, and that bow is on top of the library ledge. But does bring into question how many items Pod itself will have, because obviously you need a bow at some point, and bow will get you access to the bow log side of Pod, so most of it is going to be within our runner's grasp. And Pod has a lot of items, but it also requires quite a bit of time investment to clear it out. Especially if you want to go down to and finish off Helmasaur too for that green pendant. Oh, I love that blue sprite. It's blue.
Yeah, Trident has picked up the blue mail and thus is now a very blue blue.
Brain is finally checking out Kakariko. He's going to hand in one of his bottles here for his 20 rupees. King Zora for Salty Fry had pretty much nothing except for just taking his cash.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of locations to check in the light world. Of course, we can now, with the items across the various locations that we've been to, with the Titans and the Moon Pearl, we can at least check the Dark Village. But we don't even have a proper weapon yet, so we can't actually clear Feast Town.
You can still dive into Feast Town and get like the first 4 chests. That's a pretty easy check, and you don't usually kill the Zazaks in those first rooms anyway. Sometimes get transformed into a bunny, but those Man of Swords are going to help you there. Solidify is headed up the mountain, so he's going to get his Titan Smiths pretty shortly. Trident Tail is doing his sword checks, and I imagine he's going to be heading into the Dark World straight afterwards. Oh, he's actually using his bottle to get a free refill here. The bee is trying to attack the Fairy Queen because the bee is a jerk, and Trident Tail just gets another bee back because, you know.
Just be yourself. And Kirito will have to be very careful here. Those crabs with green mail do a lot of damage. Ay, and that is a common curse here. Oh, but they do have fairy, so it's
one of I think it was the Bothering Kakariko Royal had a fairy. But yeah, that's a unfortunate use for a fairy there.
Yeah, that definitely is like a bit of a waste for a fairy, but it's okay.
Oh no, the bee in a bottle was the Kakariko bottle, and the fairy in a bottle was in the mini Moldom cave.
Yeah, that's right.
You
And
gotta watch out for those crabs. They go faster sideways, just like real crabs.
and the bottle in Agina's cave had a green goose. Good variety.
Okay, looks like Solidify is making his way over to the Dark World, and Trident Tail is right behind him. Credo is finishing up his flippers checks, and Brain still needs to head up the mountain and get his Titan Smiths.
Yeah. I think that's probably the next destination for Blaine here, since that's all that is left for them.
That looks like 5 and 6 crystals at Swamp Palace and Ice Palace, and I didn't catch what the last pendant was.
The last pendant is in Thieves Town. I caught that one.
So that covers all of our crystals and pendants. Okay.
So that
Chess game
means,
had nothing. Solidify is heading over to Feasttown, and he is diving in.
so that means that not only are we going to need the Ice Rod, but we're also going to need at least one of the medallions. It might be either, but it might be not. And looks like we find a mirror here in the first chest in Thieves Town.
Yeah, if he wants to only check out the first 4 chests here, that's probably the most useful item we could have possibly found here.
Oh yes. No need to Death Warp out of here, and just mirror.
Trident Tail is skipping out on the Feasttown for now. He went to check out the Sea-Sape's house and didn't get anything for it.
I imagine Trident Tail will go into Thieves Town after checking the Dark Kakariko checks here, or the Jamal Test checks. That's what most runners that don't straight go into Thieves Town would do, I imagine. There's that guaranteed big key, and we found a compass as well. And the last item here is a shield.
And Solidify is out of her.
Yeah, that means we still have 2 items in the back of Thieves Town.
The back of Feasttown isn't particularly appealing at the moment. Brain does have the Cane of Burner from the Front of Escape to kill Blind Riv. He's the only one that can kill Blind right now. The boomerang doesn't hurt him. But you're still leaving a potential chest behind there because we don't have the hammer to check out the big chest in the basement. And that's always feels bad to leave behind even if it doesn't have anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on top of that, like, even though there is the option to kill Blind, just going into any dungeon where you may have to defend yourself with just the Cane of Burner. It looks like Bowen is gonna first take a dip into Skull Woods.
Yeah, there's 2 items he can get here. He might miss out on 1 item if there's something lurking in the back, because no fire odds to get back there. But this is a pretty common check when you're first taking the portal here.
Meanwhile, we have Salty Frat on the digging game. Looks like it's a decent amount of digs already.
Yeah, he's getting his money back.
Yeah. The maximum is 30.
There's a hammer!
Oh! We have a weapon!
Hammer is defying our user expectations for where it pops up in Seed where you don't have it before going into Dark World, and actually popping up pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
And Solidify is just going to take that hammer and the smith straight back up to the blacksmith, so retrieve the frog here, and just take him for a slight bit of a walk. He's going to be checking out hammer pegs and retrieving and returning blacksmith almost immediately.
Mm-hmm. And it's very likely that Sulfra is going to pick up the purple box and bring it along into the checks to K45, Stumpy, type cave.
Now, Trident Tail is checking out the rest of Thievestown. He got a map from the attic. And he's still continuing on.
I did not see what that hint was, actually. If they even
I missed
checked.
it myself, unfortunately. Brain gets the first item in Skullwoods, which is just 20 rupees.
And as chat is correctly pointing out, there is definitely going to be an item on blind, regardless of whether there is an item in the big chest or not. Because the small key can only be in the big chest or in the maiden's chest, and not on blind.
That's actually interesting. I didn't know the small key couldn't be on blind.
Yeah, the key logic assumes that you use the key in the worst way possible. So what the key logic assumes for Thievestown is that you use... Okay, so the small key locked itself away in the big chest. That's good. What the key logic for Thievestown assumes is that you use the small key that you would normally use for the attic and go into the basement with it. And that is when, since you need to break open the attic, if there is a small key on blind, you'll lock yourself out.
That is actually really interesting, because I knew about the logic always assuming you use keys in the worst way possible, but I didn't actually know that could possibly block you out given the blind. Oh, Stumpy had a bomber's medallion. Anyway, Trident Tail, because he didn't have any means of killing Bind, did not retrieve a maiden after checking a chest. He just mirrored straight out of there, so he's going to get this hammer pretty shortly and maybe kicking himself. But it is still just a regular pendant, not even green pendant, so back of Thievestown not really having anything, but Trident Tail may still be saving himself a little time here.
Yeah, that maiden's chest sadly only had a piece of heart, so that dive into the back of Thievestown did not really pay out all that well. And there's the hammer.
So, do you like Vet's crests? Because Salty Fry has just gotten a shovel from the purple chest.
I mean, we are in the general vicinity, so maybe they're gonna unique item in Paradox Cave. That is actually a decent hint. With the mirror and the hammer and the mitts, we now actually can climb up that mountain and get to the eastern side, even though we do not have the hookshot. So the knowledge that a unique item is in Paradox Cave?
He's heading over to Hyper Cave first, but you know, the Font of Swamp Palace, most of the Font of Swamp is actually in logic now because of that hammer. Hype Cave has 10 hours, 10 bombs, heart container, 3 bombs, and a red boomerang. Not hype at all. You're not going to be finding any in the directs in this cave.
I mean, I always like seeing the 10-pack of bombs, because that is a random specific item. But in conjunction with the items that we found otherwise, it is not very useful. So it looks like we're going to make a trip to the pyramid and possibly catfish. Or pod.
Yeah, Certify is doing a pretty far clear of the Duck World overworld. I could see him checking out the graveyard ledge too whilst he's at it.
Yeah, maybe like make the full circle, going to check the bumper and graveyard ledges, and then maybe dive into the Skull Woods.
Heart container on the pyramid. Certify doesn't care. He's got plenty of life already. Oh, and he's going to do Fun of Escape now.
We'll pick up.
Nice use that mirror here to go straight into Escape, actually.
Yeah. We'll be picking up their Silver Arrows and King of Burna soon.
Trident Tail gets his bombers from Stumpy. Creed is about to get his hammer, and Brain is about to discover these blacksmiths are actually Fletchers.
I mean, I guess you do smith arrowheads, maybe?
Trident Tail is going to do Hyper Cave before returning the purple chest. So we've got most of our runners kind of retracing each other's steps at the moment. Kirito's doing the whole south route with getting the hammer into blacksmiths and then getting the purple chest. Trident Tail is just finishing that up himself. Brain is starting the purple chest portion, and Zordify is doing is actually our second runner to head into escape. Only Brain has done that so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll find the Cane of Burning here in this chest. And luckily we do not have to go to the Dark Cross because neither the back nor the Sanctuary nor the front of Escape had the small key. So we know that the small key has to be in the Dark Cross.
Trident Tail gets his fetch quest, and he's going to head over to Agina's cave to pick up a bottle. He's actually going to have a look at the desert ledge first. Doesn't have any means of getting over there, because no flutes to get to the Mizumaya area, and no means of getting into the front of Desert Palace with the Book of Medora. But that desert ledge just looked like cash to me, so...
Yeah, that was, I think, 50 rupees.
Zordify is heading straight over to Paradox Cave here. Mate decides to take a trip into Tower of Hair first, and yep, that's exactly what he's doing. All of this is in logic for him. He's got the lamp in case he needs to go to the basement, so he can clear it out and get his first crystal.
Indeed, and 2 items here in Tower of Hair as well. You know, I do like if there has to be a trip into the basement, that it's the pretty big key, so that everybody has to do it. Oh well.
There's that big key, so optional tea break for the basement this time.
Indeed, might be an item in there. Might be the compass.
Trident Tail is actually going to check out that shovel spot immediately. And it's just a piece of art.
Well, good fetch quest.
So the Titan Smiths were kind of baiting you into doing that whole blacksmith chain, and you didn't really get anything from it.
Yeah, the entirety of like those Dark World overworld checks have been for naught, except for the beginning.
First item in Tower of Hair is 20 rupees, and the hint tower said that some cash and the shield is blocked by a big red bomb, so nobody's going to be paying a visit to the Pyramid Fairy today. Unless they just like really want to protect themselves.
Or they never pick up that hint. I mean, it's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. So, we found the compass here in the big chest. That means if Moldrum has a small key, there is an item in the basement. Or the small key locked itself away. That is also a possibility.
Given the routing here, I don't think anybody's going to be doing Tower of Hair after Swarm Palace and Ice Palace. You can actually clear all of Ice Palace now. You've got the Flippers, you've got the Titan Smiths, you've got the Bomber's Medallion to get you inside, and you've got the Hammer to finish it off. So you can clear all of Ice Palace. You can't clear Swarm Palace yet, though.
Yeah, we can go into the front of Swarm Palace, but that's it.
Oh, you know what? It could be a vanilla hookshot in Swarm Palace. I've been holding out for hookshot in Swarm Palace for so long now, and I've never seen it. Oh, hey, half magic from Moldor, so we don't need to go into the basement at all.
That is very relieving, and So no, of course, unless you really like coffee or tea, no break for you. But of course, runners will opt to, or will be happy not to have to go into the basement.
Kirito has actually taken the blacksmith for a very long world tour here. He's paying a visit to the catfish with the blacksmith.
I did not catch what was on the floating island there. I think it might have been a sword, but I'm not sure.
I didn't see it myself because I was looking at Kirito's, unfortunately. Oh, Tridentail is heading into the back of Escape. He already cleared out the back portion of the free chest, so he's just going to get his small key here from the chest, which is unfortunate for him. He's going to waste a little bit of time here.
Yeah, I must have forgotten that the key has to be in the cross. Yeah, of course, Salty Fry knows there is a unique item in Paradox Cave in those one of those 7 chests. So, obviously, and generally, like 7 items is a very high density. So, I mean, it could be the single arrow or the bug net, but it might also be the boots. That a unique item is in Paradox Cave might have been our boots hint for this scene.
Honestly, when was the last time that Paradox Cave was completely useless?
I've seen it a few times. Even on a daily race, actually.
Well, starting off, we have a piece of art in 10 hours. But there's still more chests up above.
Indeed, there's 5 chests here in this room with the mini moldworms and the crystal switch. And Salty Fry opts to use these threats again.
Ooh, Fire Rod and Quake Medallion. So that covers what the medallion needs. And what the Ice Rod too.
Now,
okay, so Paradox Cave is actually here's your Turtle Rock Cave. Just need to for that now.
Basically, the underneath the carpet of the front door.
I imagine if like Kane of Sabaya was here in Super Bunny Cave now. Certified making use of the mirror there to delete the blocks in Super Bunny Cave, and chat was pointing out that Brain apparently he tried to do a bomb jump to the big chest in Tower of Hair, but he had the mirror equipped, so he went back to the front again.
Well, not too big of a time. Tower of Hair is pretty small. Sadly, no hookshot in Super Bunny Cave, so just a shield and some money. We're gonna see what the what the Turtle Rock entrance medallion is gonna be. Regardless, I'll open this. Also, so there was something on the floating island.
Yeah, 45 is going right over there. He's not using any hover strats to go check out the items in here. Technically, he could clear Turtle Rock if he used hover strats throughout a huge portion of it. But couldn't be somebody as mad as, say, like Solsky would actually try to do that, though.
Yeah, that platform room with the fire bars, the dark one. That one will take a long time, but it was a sword. Useful.
Very useful.
We're 34 minutes in and we got our first sword.
I've seen worse. I've seen much worse. I've seen people just trying to find a Master Sword for their Go mode item and they find their first sword in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah.
So, Certify is heading over to Spike Cave here. He's done a pretty far clear of the mountain, except for the Ether Tablet, because he can't do anything with that right now, and he is going to finish it off with Spike Cave. Quite a few runners actually forget this. And all too often you see things like the hookshot here.
Yeah, other than Hookshot Cave and Ether Tablet, and of course Turtle Rock, we have completely cleared out that mountain now. On Salty Fry's side here.
Just 10 hours in that spike cave, yes. So many airdrops in this seed at the moment, actually. We're not be seeing any in Ganon's Tower at all. And that's like the place where you'd normally get all your airdrops.
So with Fire Rod equipped, or Fire Rod and Bombos and Hammer, I wonder if Saltfry is going to make the Ice Palace. Going that direction, at least.
He's going to pick up a potion first. Not a bad plan, considering if you're going to go into Ice Palace, because that is a quite threatening dungeon.
Yeah, even though we have Blue Mail, we still only have 8 hearts, and only a Fighter Sword, and Ice Palace is not a very pleasant dungeon. Especially considering we are also likely going to see the bomb jump, so, or at least one bomb jump, possibly 2 even, if we want to go to the hookshot block side.
A piece of fart is above a purr, so actually benefited Sortify quite a lot not doing the graveyard ledge check whilst he was clearing out most of the overworld.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the vanilla game in Link to the Past doesn't expect you to have the Cane of Samaya, because that's over in Museum Maya, and they think you're going to do Ice Palace before that, but no sane person who's actually played Link to the Past before would do Ice Palace before Cane of Samaya, because it just makes routing in here so much easier. Without a Cane of Samaya or a bomb jump, you kind of have to do a whole loop around the entire palace to solve the puzzle and actually get it into the basement where Cold Stair is. And, oh hey, there's red mail from...
well,
Ice Palace. So,
we had a bourbon mail upgrade and the French vanilla.
I mean, if you did pick up blue mail before, then yeah, it would have been vanilla mail. Well, not vanilla mail, but you know, vanilla dungeon for mail.
French vanilla.
But yeah, given the way the key logic can work in Ice Palace, it can be the case that you get a small key from Cold Stair, and with that, the logic is actually expecting you to get Cane of Samaya before going into Ice Palace, because the logic doesn't expect you to have to be able to do the bomb jump and clearing this.
Yeah, and I think if the first couple of chests in Ice Palace don't have a small key, I think it's like the first one or the first 2 chests don't have a small key, then it's also technically hookshot lock.
Here comes the famous bomb jump in Ice Palace that circumvents the need for a Cane of Samaya. Or doing a huge loop around the dungeon, and I myself am so bad at this bomb jump. That's why I never stream myself in a race. I can't do that bomb jump.
Yeah, I recently tried to learn it a bit, and it's actually pretty tough. So.
If you're using the default link spread, I believe you have to line up the top of Link's hat with the wall in the north, but I cannot get the left to right positioning quite correct. I need to I need to revise that and get it done properly. Rain is also heading into Ice Palace, and Trident Tail looks like he's making his way over to Hookshot Cave to pick up his sword. Ooh, this is a bit of unusual routing in Ice Palace. Solidify got a key below the stairs and then it's using the Cane of Burners to get across these spikes, which I guess would be in logic actually because of that cane. Well, there's our 4th bottle. And there's another one with green potion inside, so we already got half magic, so we don't even really need those green potions. Now it's just a map in the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, Saltify did not get the one in Agina's cave, I think. But that's all 4 bottles.
compass from the switch slot chest there, and I'm guessing Solidify is going to head over to. He's going to check out the Hinto, and
Oh,
hello, hookshot into the rock.
there's always something into the rock, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's typically fire rod or ice rod. Sometimes both. I've seen both in there. So yeah, we need to find the Cane of Samaria so that we can get the hookshot into the rock. And we also need to find the boots so that we can get the bow from the library ledge. We got a bunch of items we need to find here. Okay, big key from the iced tea chest, so Solidify is probably going to go back up and check out the big chest before going down the cold stair. Yeah, both Solidify and Brain are using medallions here to clear out the pen gators in these rooms, which is a nice efficient way of doing it. Especially with off magics to preserve your magic a bit.
Yeah, Salty was using the Quake medallion earlier, which I think takes a little bit of less magic, but half magic doesn't really matter all that much.
Well, it's actually quicker. The Quake animation isn't quite as lengthy as the Bomber's animation, and you also have to wait for like the pen gators to burn and die before they before stuff activates. Whereas with the Quake medallion, they just flat out die immediately, and the animation itself is quicker. Brain is also using that small key here to just check out the right side immediately.
So now that we know that the hookshot is in Pebble Rock, that means that we at least know that Cane of Samaria cannot be hookshot locked. So that's something to keep in mind.
It could be in the front of some palace though, and that would be extremely mean if it was, but it could happen.
And, we swap over to Hammer Strats here. The hammer does tempered sword damage, and given that we still only have the fighter sword, the much preferred way of attacking bosses, even though the hitbox is a little awkward.
And hitbox is your main danger of cold stack, because it's very easy to have a cold stack puff run into you and take out a huge chunk of your HP. But Solidify gets through that cold stack, no problems at all, and gets his second crystal.
And a bag of powder.
Yeah, because we ain't done enough fetch quests yet, have we?
Yeah. The powder could lead us to Cane of Samaria.
It could lead us to Mushroom too.
Which could have the Cane of Samaria. So many fetch quests. Could give us the mushroom, which could give us the book. And maybe on one of the tablets there's the Cane of Samaria. Or the boots.
And Hide and Tail is bucking the trend here and actually taking that fire rod straight over to Skull Woods to clear that out first. And I remember seeing 20 rupees in Skull Woods, but I don't remember seeing a second item just yet, so you might find something here. There's that 20 rupees.
Looks like Salty Fry is also making the trek into Skull Woods now. Alright, we'll have a somewhat easier time being able to not only take a few more hits thanks to Red Mail, but also has, of course, the magic powder, so worst comes to worst, can powder one of those bunny beans. And one of our trackers, Itsudemo, is pointing out that Skullwoods does have an item in the back, so your eyes did not deceive you. And of course, thanks to our trackers, Itsudemo and Full Metal, for keeping us informed about the item progression.
Speaking of bucking the trend, Krita is actually giving us our first look into Eastern Palace. I believe he saved a mirror portal as well outside Palace of Darkness, so he'll be taking a look inside there as well. Could be finding the boots in here. And then if you find the boots here, then you have to dip back out to get the bow and double dip the dungeon.
Yeah, Kirito has not gone up to back to Death Mountain after finding the nets. So, or like after going through the Dark World checks, rather. So,
Is that a vanilla 300 rupees from that first chest in Eastern Palace? I definitely
yeah,
remember it being rupees. I think it was 300 in the base game, right?
I don't recall. And we have almost the sync here from Trident and Salty, both of which have entered Skullwoods, the back of Skullwoods, and at the same time, but take different ways. Looks like Trident is checking out the little chest in the back, while Salty is making a beeline for Mothula. Just a small key here. So the item has to be in Mothula.
I mean, it's quite common for most people to root this just doing Morphila first, because if he has the item, you don't need to check out the small chest.
Yeah.
And you need to kill Morphila anyway, because it's a crystal. If it's a pendant dungeon, it's more for toss-up, really.
Yeah. And we're gonna see a magic bat check here on the side of Buane. Oh, there's a sword in Eastern Palace.
Oh, Morphila had 20 rupees as well, so both items in Skullwoods just 20 rupees. But it is a third crystal to solidify.
Oh, that hint. Wow. Okay, so we just learned that the boots are in Hookshot Cave.
Okay, so we need to find the hookshot to get the boots, then use the boots to get the bow. Yeesh.
Yeah. And we know where the hookshot is. We know the hookshot is in Turtle Rock, so we
need to find the Cane of Samaria.
We need the Cane of Samaria, yes.
Oh man, Linley a seed. Trident Tail is unleashing the bee here on Morphila. It's actually doing a decent job of keeping Morphila away from the blocks in the top, which tends to be the main problem with killing Morphila.
Yeah, Mothula not very cooperative here on Trident's side. And just a map here in the vanilla big key chest in Eastern Palace, which means, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we found only 2 items in Eastern. So one item might be on Armor's Knights.
Yeah, that one item is unlikely to be anything useful at this point. We know where the hookshot is. We know where the bow is. We need to find the... well, we know where the boots are. We need to find the Cane of Samaria.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting front of Swamp at this point.
Yeah, that could be it. Swamp for a double dip. Yeah.
We also haven't seen any of Palace of Darkness. Kirito did not go into Palace of Darkness. Could potentially be there too. We do have access to most of Palace of Darkness.
Well, provided it's a bullock or we bottle glitch.
Yeah, if you bottle glitch, you can actually clear all of Palace of Darkness, but it's not like in the whole of it isn't in logical access just yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can't clear all of it. We can't defeat Helmasaur.
No, we just need the Cane of Samaria to get the bow, so the Cane of Samaria cannot possibly be on the bow lock side.
Yeah, that's true.
It looks like Trident Tail is also doing his Salashashka check and is heading over to Eastern and Palace of Darkness, so he may be giving us our first look in there in Palace. And Solidify is heading over to Swamp. No, he's actually taking a different route. Might just be heading up to Palace of Darkness from this direction. In fact, yeah, that looks like his plan, because he doesn't have the fruits to get himself to that closer portal, so might as well just take that portal. Trident Tail is also starting off with Eastern Palace, so he's going to get his hookshot hint.
Blin also making the trek into Dark World. Wonder where they are gonna go. It looks like they're also steering up. Yeah, they're going up. So I don't think Blin has been checked the pyramid and catfish, which we know are nothing. And Trident is going to get their Master Sword here.
Yeah, that is a actual needed item. You're not going to get Hill Cannon at all without a Master Sword, so it's necessary, but quite a good chance that you'll find other swords somewhere along the way, so not technically necessary. And Swordify is giving us our first look into Palace of Darkness now.
And it is not bull-locked, at least.
Key from the front chest, Swordify tosses a bomb over at the bombable door. He's probably going to check that side even though it's not in logic and see what he gets there. Maybe a sword. Could potentially be the flute there too, because as well as needing a cane of Samaya right now so that we can get everything else, the flute is also AWOL. We have no idea where that could be at all, and we need that to get into Maya.
That's I think the only of the required items that can be on pedestal as well.
Oh hey, there's Kane.
Well, there it is.
So that is essentially the keys to the rest of the seed right now. It looks like Swordify isn't just straight mirroring out because he wants to check out the rest of pod. The flute could be in here, it could be also anywhere else. No wait. No, he is mirroring out, he's staying in the dungeon, he just wants to check out the hint out. I bet you'd like to have more bombs, and he immediately loots 2 bombs from those first 2 pods.
Yeah, Salty's gonna make their way into the back. Of course, Salty has not seen the hint in Eastern Palace, so doesn't know where the boots are. Therefore, it's very likely they will try and clear as much of the pod as they can on the search for boots. And
Trident gets his map from the big key chest in Eastern Palace, and he mirrors out, and I think he's on his way to the Dark World portal. Credo is actually going to give us our first look at Blind. I think that's all of our Feds quests covered now.
Not all of them. We're still missing a book for the tablets, but...
Oh, yeah, true. My mistake.
And arguably the cape for the Bumper Ledge, if you want to count that.
Has anyone actually seen Bumper Ledge?
I'm not sure.
Credo making use of that cane of burden there to just bulldoze down Blind, and he does have 3 bombs.
And the map and the compass both in Dark Maze here. Looks like the right-hand runners all are also on their way to pod, and Trident again syncing up once more with another runner here. And looks like we have an item on Helmasarki.
I was going to point out that Credo was running around that pendant a bit that dropped from Blind. He was unsure about picking it up, but he did pick it up. It's very unlikely at this point, but we could still have a pedestal seed. The flute could be on pedestal. But it's looking like a very slim chance at this point.
It looks like Salty Fry is making their way over to Turtle Rock. Of course, without a hookshot, we can't take the fast route, so we have to take this route over across Spectacle Rock, unfortunately.
He's going to miss out on his Master Sword from Eastern Palace for now, but that's not a big deal, because he does have to clear out Eastern Palace anyway to get that crystal from there.
Mhm.
And he will find the sword incidentally whilst he's there too, so this really saves him quite a bit of time.
Well, maybe not, because the big key happens to be before the sword. So if Salty Fries in Go mode sends sword, then it's very possible that Salty will just clear the rest of the dungeon without picking up those chests.
Well, he'd be skipping the vanilla big key chest for sure, but the other chests in Eastern Palace take you no time to get at all. He'll be checking out that first chest in the front to try and find the big key, but he'll just get 300 rupees, and then the other chests, it don't take him any time to get at all, so he'll be picking up that sword, I reckon. So it was bombers to get into the rock.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, because we have all 3 medallions anyway.
I bet he expected help. Solidified probably was, because he's got that hint about hookshot, but he is going to be getting in here. Somewhere in here, at least. Could be in Laser Bridge, could be in this first chest, we don't know yet.
And since Hookshot Cave is basically around the corner from here, very likely that Salty Fry, even without having read that hint about the boots being in Hookshot Cave, is going to pick it up. And of course, without a hookshot, we have to take the long way through this section here with the torches.
Trident Tail has his Cane of Smite, and he is out of Palace of Darkness. Brain is still tracking down items for now, but he's got his cane. Well, that's a small key from that chest and a big key from the vanilla chest, so we are diving deeper.
I suppose that Trident is going to go check the pyramid, catfish, etc. checks.
I don't think he's done those yet. Solidify checked out the pyramid, I think, and Brain has done all of pyramid and catfish. Ooh, Solidify taking a lot of bites from the chain chomps here. He's stuck on the blocks. He's got to try and avoid another bite from the chain chomps here. Ah, he dips into a red potion. He should be good now if he avoids taking too many more chomps. Yeah, those chain chomps hurt.
Yeah, even with red mail, we still only have 8 hearts. So.
Trying to goes to get that heart container on the pyramid, and I'm actually surprised he's going for this and doing more checks instead of just going straight for Cane of Samai and Turtle Rock, because he has got that hint. I mean, for the hookshot in Turtle Rock, because he has got that hint and the Cane of Samai to go clear out Turtle Rock now.
I don't think that. I think the bottom 2 runners have not been to Ice Palace yet, so they don't. They haven't picked up that hint about the hookshot being in Turtle Rock. That was in Ice Palace.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking that was in Eastern Palace.
That was the boots. The boots hit. But we are gonna see a mushroom check here.
There's that hookshot.
In the lava chest.
Still got some boots to find. And I bet Solidify is very pleased about finding that hookshot incidentally, because he doesn't know about the boots. No, he doesn't know about the boots. He knows about the hookshot, but not the boots.
Yeah. I think that's also the reason why Salty made a beeline for Turtle Rock, or at least part of it, because Salty knew that the hookshot was in this dungeon. And I do think that Salty will incidentally pick up the boots though, because they're in Hookshot Cave, so it's basically around the corner. But first, Mimic Cave.
At this point, we just need to find the flute. And the flute can be pretty much anywhere except in the Mizumai area, Mizumai itself, or Desert Palace. Unless we find a book somewhere, then we have all of Desert Palace open.
Yeah. But yeah, anything that requires us going to the Maya area is off limits while we do not have the flute.
Well, there it is. So we have flute, boot somewhere here in Turtle Rock, and a hookshot. This is a completely stuffed Turtle Rock, and we are in no mode now.
Yeah, we're in no mode, not in go mode just yet, since Sultra does not know that the boots are in Hookshot Cave, and of course still has to pick up the bow as well. But of course, finding the boots is just a matter of time at this point for Sultra, even though. And Buin as well. I don't think Buin went into Eastern Palace either. So both of those runners very likely to find the boots incidentally in Hookshot.
Solify doesn't have a key yet, so he does have to go check out Lace Bridge here for at least one key. He's probably going to be checking out the other chests too, because he needs sword and he needs boots.
Yeah.
There's that key.
Of course, map and compass both on the laser bridge, and we don't have the item is in the last chest. Could have skipped that. Oh, unique item is on laser bridge.
So looks like trying to access the boots.
No, the boots are in Hookshot Cave.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, it's extended to Turtle Rock, basically.
The Turtle Rock Annex.
Yeah. The backyard.
Alright, Solidify is just going to get behind Trinex here, which makes it really easy to hit him with a hammer, if we are using a hammer on him. And he's just going for brute forcing the ice head with a fire rod, which with half magic is definitely a reasonable proposition.
Yeah. Up to use the hammer for the last couple of shots, just in case.
Yeah, the rods don't do very much damage to the heads at all. It's mostly for the purpose of stunning them, so you can use proper weapons on them. But if you've got a ton of magic and half magic, and you just spam some shots, because why not? So, Solidify only needed 2 hits with the hammer there to finish off. Does take a bite from the main head, which nearly kills him. And
yeah, luckily, Salted Pride does have a fairy still, I think. So technically, is in fine shape. But that was still a bit close there.
He gets a piece of heart to top himself off too. Because, like, the crystal was already going to do that for you, but hey, here's another healthy. Why not? Totally redundant.
Given how far we are into the seed, it's still like not all that many hearts that we've found. And yeah, Salty Fry, even though Salty Fry does not know that the boots are in here, 4 item checks so close to the dungeon. Well, there's one additional heart at least.
And there are the boots. So if you were an absolute hover master, you could have had those boots much earlier and made the rest of it a bit quicker.
What are those? So yeah, Salty Fry obviously swapping over to the flute, will activate it, and then pick up the bow, and then is officially in go mode.
I'm losing my mind here. Why would he be hovering without the boots? Anyway, get your 07s in chat for the Scourge of Hyros about to be unleashed upon the world once more. It's a flying seagull. It's going to poop on your enemies and carry you around. Solidify makes his triumphant entry back into the library.
And
Picks up his bow, and he's in go mode.
At 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 18 seconds, go mode for Salty Fry.
Wait, no, he's not technically in go mode yet because he doesn't have a sword, but we know where another one is, and he's going to get it.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I do wonder where those other two swords are.
Probably left side swamp and Ganon Star at this point.
Or in Desert Palace.
I mean, luckily for Swordify, the sword here is in like one of the easiest chests to check out if you're just passing through the area, as opposed to say like in the vanilla big key chest. So he's going to get that Master Sword.
Mm-hmm. And looks like Buane is about to pick up their boots.
And this seed has been fairly non-linear for most of it, but then you just kind of have this like huge logical chain to get all the items you need to get into go mode right at the midpoint here. And now it's just go moding a bunch of dungeons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of weird how like Paradox Cave basically opened up a lot of the seed.
To be perfectly fair, Paradox Cave pretty much opens up a lot of seeds. So yeah, Swordify gets his Master Sword, no problem, and true, now he's in go mode.
Indeed. Official 100%, absolutely for sure go mode at 1 hour 8 minutes and some change.
He is going to be hoping of getting a tempered sword here, somewhere along the line, just to make Ganon a bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah, Master Sword requires a lot of spins. And to hit those is not that easy either.
Given the seed logic, he could also skip the Fun of Escape and never get those silver arrows too, so if you were really gunning for it, you could actually be doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon, and that is not a pleasant prospect, even if you have half magic from Tower of Hera.
And the lost item in Eastern Palace is just another stash of cash. Looks like Buane is actually going into Mire first.
Bombers to get inside.
So we didn't even need either in Quake, it's just Bombos.
Swordify does not check out the Maya shed for swords because he thinks he's pretty much covered with that Master Sword. Doesn't take too much time to check out the Maya shed, but he definitely is just gunning to get through this as quickly as possible, and just hope he lucks into finding the Templeton somewhere along the way. It's going to depend. The time he spent in Mizumaya is going to depend on where he finds keys here. If we find a small key and a big key here, we can proceed into the back, and we have what is normally called the God Mire. So there's a small key.
Interesting, I've never seen somebody go for the spike room first before checking out the bridge room.
I've seen it sometimes. Sometimes a person may decide, if I find a small key and big key, I'm gonna hover over to the other side. But that's a pretty meme-tastic play.
It looks like Trident is having a bit of troubles here with the lace bridge.
He did go into the south of Laser Bridge and open up the safety door, so if he takes a death here, he can reset his health. And I think that death there was just deliberate, just so he could reset his health. He still hasn't been down in Ice Palace yet, and it looks like Kurita is actually going to beat him into going into Ice Palace. So Kurita will get that hint about the hookshot and know about Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Kirito still has not been to Pod yet, so still on the lookout for the King of Samaria.
Yeah, so he's not going to be headed up there immediately. Sortify also picking up his big key here from... oh wait, it wasn't in his chest. I missed a brain getting it, but it was one of the early chests because he is already in the basement.
Yeah, it was in the room north of the... or west of the big chest room. The one with that Medusa turret.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now brain was getting a little bit spooky there.
Spooky action. Fittingly enough for Dark Knight.
Yeah, the spooky accent glitch is one of those I can never quite remember how it works, but essentially, depending on your movement, you can use a firewall shot in the south room, and the game thinks you're actually in the room above and hitting the crystal switch, so it depresses the blocks for you.
That was a very clean Vitreous fight for Buwayne here. Zero cycle with the silver arrows.
Yeah, luckily for runners, they will all have a bow and silver arrows going into Vitreous, and the difference between having silver arrows versus, say, like a fighter sword for Vitreous is staggeringly amount of time and difficulty difference.
Yeah, especially with like fire sword, you probably will try to soften them up with like Canaburna or bombs. So
Brain does check out the Maya set because he's still on a fighter sword here. He hasn't been in Eastern Palace.
yeah, Buwayne is probably gonna go to the eastern area next. Vitreous for Salty Fry here. Another very nice fight.
Blink and you miss it because this Vitreous is already dead. Vitreous can't even blink, he doesn't have eyelids.
Poor Vitreous. But at the very least, Vitreous will win every staring contest.
He does get to keep his eyes moist too, because he's like sitting in that that pool of goo and such, so doesn't need to worry about dry eyes.
And onto Swamp Palace here for Salted Fry. So, yeah, so, Chet discussing who's in the lead. Salted Fry is definitely in the lead. I wouldn't say it's a commanding lead just yet, because Eastern Palace is not like that long of a dungeon, but it's still a couple of minutes, I would say.
Yeah, now that's not to say that Saltify is in first place, therefore, because we do have 26 entrants in the race total, although 2 of them have forfeited due to real-life reasons. So we don't know if Saltify is actually in the total lead right now, but on our restream, he's in the lead. And we will be reporting which position he finishes in when he does finish, and we'll keep the other finishers a secret for now. If they do happen to finish before Saltify, that is.
Indeed. And Trident finally getting their boots. We'll be able to pick up their bow and activate their flute in just a minute here.
And Saltify doesn't even check out the chest behind the Bomball wall in Swamp Palace. He doesn't care about Tempered Sword. He's not going to go out of his way at all to check any chests unless they're literally sitting right in front of him.
Yeah, I imagine maybe like the waterfall, like the secret chest, the waterfall room before Argus. I can see Saltify picking that one up, but otherwise I don't think they're gonna go out of their way. Maybe the flooded chest, but probably not. Like, the waterfall chest is basically just a couple seconds, but like the flooded chest is a bit longer, so. And Buane, hot on Saltfry's heels here, is gonna go and enter into Swamp Palace. Saltfry ended around like 1 hour 16-ish, and looks like Salty is gonna be entering on like about 2 minutes behind. So it's still a race. It all goes down to execution, Ganon's tower routing, and maybe if Blaine finds the Tempered Sword, can even make up a little bit of speed there as well, or time routing.
Yeah, bad luck for Saltify. He just got a map from the waterfall chest.
Yeah.
Saltify, unfortunately, does have to spend a bit of time slashing around at each of these Argai, floating around Argus, because with a Master Sword, you do need to use 2 slashes to kill each of them. A lot of runners often like to, if they have gotten a Master Sword, they just like to pull out 2 puffs at a time, and then use a spin slash from the Master Sword to kill both of them in one shot, using it whilst the sword's charging up to use a hook shot as well. Other times you may see menu Arcus where you just swap between the hammer and hook shot constantly, but that doesn't tend to happen unless you don't have any swords. So it doesn't take Saltify too long to check out the main Argus jellyfish, and he gets his last crystal. So he's going to be heading up to Ganon's turn now. This is just a daily race, so we're not going to be using the bots to play the official game or anything. But if you want to take a guess, please do guess where you think the big key is going to be in Ganon's turn. Also, as a bonus, you can take a guess if the sword is going to pop up in there too. I'm going to go for my regular guess of the big key in Ganstad going to be behind Vanilla Ice Armos. So number 19 if you're doing a right side check into the left side.
Alright, then I'm gonna say it's gonna be chest number 14, which if you do Hope Room but not full right, or like not the right side check, is boss chest.
Trackers are going with 8 for It's a Demo and 13 for Full Metal. Shout out to our trackers again, by the way. They've been helping me keep my head together with this kind of convoluted seed.
Yeah.
In many ways, this was kind of defined by the hint tiles. One important hint being in Eastern Palace and one in Ice Palace. But the Ice Palace hint was far more important because it would avoid you doing a Eastern Palace double dip. And that has benefited Solidify quite a lot here.
And should Blaine find the key first, depending on their routing, we are still going to use Salty Fries. Just as a heads up. And of course, with boots, even the dreaded torch big key is not a problem for us either.
Alright, Solidify going right first. If he finds the spore key here, he'll probably be checking out the rest of right side too, which is a pretty normal play. Well, there's Third Sword.
Well then. And a small key as well.
So I don't think any of our runners today are going to be missing out on that Tempered Sword.
Yeah, seems unlikely.
Unless somebody decides to go left side first and the big key is on the left side, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, I rarely see people skip out on Hope Room. Unless they want to do Dark Magician.
Ooh, Solidify getting bullied by the Gyptos a bit here.
These Gyptos are not cooperative at all. And Kirito finally making their way into. Oh wow. Big key on the right side.
Yeah, number 4. So yeah, you're gonna get a Tempered Sword and a big key. There's no avoiding that.
Yeah, everybody picked up that Master Sword in Eastern Palace as well. So, looks like we don't have anybody who guessed 4, but we do have a 3 as a guess, which is Balson, and a 5 from X Click It X. So congratulations, you're our winners today. And you're gonna get a bowl of steaming hot Trinix salsa.
Trinix salsa. So like the case where you're like going through the pipes and so on. That's hot salsa down below there.
No, it's like turtle soup, but it's very spicy because of the firehead, but also frozen over because of the ice. Looks like Bowain is actually checking the first, the left side, sorry. And Kirito did the bottom glitch and finds the Book of Modora on the Bollocked side here.
So now all of our Vets quests are covered. But yeah, Brain is going left side first. Looks like he might be doing Dark Magician here. Yeah, he's got that mirror. He's going Dark Magician.
Yeah.
So he's not spending too much extra time in here.
Of course, is going to lose a little bit of time on Salty Fry here. Yeah. Depending on what Bowain would have done after clearing out right side, it would have been either the Pink Magician or the Dark Magician strat. Because the Dark Magician would be you do full right at like after clearing out the right side, you go to the ice armors with the full right path. Pink magician would be picking up the right side and then mirroring back and doing the rest of the right side. Named after Dark Magician, who is a runner, and Pink Kitty Rose, who have popularized these routes. It looks like Trident died in Misery Mire, so sadly we'll have to do it all over again.
Yeah, I saw him struggling a bit to hit the crystal switch in the room before the crystal box in the dark basement, so I missed his death. I'm surprised he actually died down there, because he's got silver ass, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. Quite unfortunate for him.
Oh, according to chat, there was got a lightning bolt to the face there. That does do a lot of damage, and of course, only Salty Fry has picked up the red mail from Ice Palace.
Brain has it too. But so,
Brain has it too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He hasn't been in Ice Palace yet, so he can't get that red mail.
Mm.
Looks like Credo has red mail too, judging from his Sora sprite.
Oh yeah,
I found that Sora sprite quite weird. It doesn't look like Sora from Kingdom's Heart. It just kind of looks like generic anime JRPG hero, which, to be honest, Sora's kind of like Don't hate me! Don't hate me!
Yeah, I can't make that out. I'm colorblind, so the red sprite looks. I can't make it out at all.
Sorry if I doing quite a lot of bonks here at the top of Aga Tower. Well, not Aga Tower, Ganon's Tower. But if I Aga up top of it. Spoilers, Aga is actually Ganon.
And we're in to fry some blue bacon.
Ganon with the random facts today.
Yeah, aviation facts this time around.
I also like it when he comments about food. It's kind of what I'm thinking at the end of a randomizer seed myself.
Well, I mean, this randomizer seed was actually pretty swift, so I'm not all that hungry.
Ooh, Solidify takes a hit from the bats and a hug. He's got a fairy, though.
Yeah.
He's past the dangerous part now where he could potentially take a death, which is phase 2. So as long as he doesn't take any more Ganon hugs, he's going to be okay now.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to slash Ganon a couple times, light the torch, and fire some silver at him.
Meanwhile, Moldrum 2 goes down here on the wing side, and Trident is... I think maybe Trident doesn't like Ice Palace or something? Isn't Desert Palace... Maybe they forgot they're in Go mode now?
Maybe he's mismarked his tracker. But let's forget that for a second, for Solidify has taken down the Big Pig, and if he makes it across this bridge here, he is going to be finishing in our restream in first place. So, with an official SRL time of 1 hour 29 minutes and 25 seconds, Solidify has finished in first place in the restream, third place overall.
Indeed, ahead of him, and ahead of Saltify in second place, Ultima, with an official SRL time of 1 hour 27 minutes and 4 seconds, and the winner of the race overall is Raidis with an official SRL time of 1 hour 25 minutes and 54 seconds. That's really fast.
Yeah, shoutouts to Ultima, they actually improved their personal best by 25 seconds.
Looks like
Looks like
Go
we have
ahead.
Solify here in chat already. So GG Solify.
GG's
Thank
and
you.
congrats.
Thank you.
So you got that hint in Ice Palace about Turtle Rock. And
Yeah, that was
what
kind
do you?
of the main reason that I picked Ice Palace over Skull Woods was because there was 3 hints in there. I figured I'd go in there, and I was actually hoping to find the boots hint instead, which I never ended up finding. But yeah, I found that, which kind of helped send me towards there eventually. I was kind of thinking I needed to find that cane pretty quickly. Is kind of what I was thinking then.
You walked past by that boots hint. That one was in Eastern Palace.
Well, yeah. By that point in time, I had the boots anyway, so yeah, it was kind of useless at that point.
It's kind of what really helped you get in first place here, because a bunch of our other runners on the restream here, they went into Eastern Palace before going into Ice Palace. They got that boost hint, so they knew they wanted to go to Turtle Rock already, because the bow was there. But they all had to double dip Eastern Palace because they didn't have the bow, and you didn't have to double dip.
I was about to go into Eastern Palace if Pod didn't have anything, but I found my cane in there, and there was no way I was going to go into Eastern at that point in time. I knew my hook shot was up in Turtle Rock, so as soon as I got that, and I was like, when I went into Pod, it was interesting. Like, I was really debating as to whether I wanted to do the bottle glitch or not, and check out the bow locked part of it, because it kind of felt like maybe the bow was going to end up being the last item in the chain the way things were going. So like going and checking stuff kind of felt like it could be completely useless. So in the end, I didn't bother doing that. But it's kind of one of those things where maybe something could have been over there. I guess in this situation, maybe the fluke could have been over there or something like that. I don't know, but it's kind of weird.
Right. Sorry to interrupt the chat here, but Wayne, the second here on the restream, finished with a triple on Ganon as well, a triple hit with the silver arrows. So that was pretty swell. Finished in 6th place overall with an official SR outcome of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 36 seconds. 4th place, Illos24, 5th place, Killer F23. Congratulations and GG's to all of those runners as well.
I guess in the end, the seed kind of forced you to go almost kind of everywhere. Like it forced you independent Pod, forced you independent Thieves Town. I mean, if you were lucky and you didn't clear the back, I guess that was a good thing of Thieves Town. And I guess realistically, there was never going to be any way anyone really got into Desert, I don't think, in this seed. Unless I don't know what you could have screwed up in order to end up.
Yeah.
It really turned into a kind of linear seed with how you had to get the cane to go into Turtle Rock to get all those items in there so you could go get the bow.
That was pretty much it. Is how long did it take you really probably to get to Pod and get that cane most likely, or maybe the mirror, depending on how. Well, I guess not really, because the mirror really kind of blocked you from getting anything on East Death Mountain as well. So you probably would have had to get that mirror. But I guess you could have gotten the cane theoretically before the mirror, which might have worked out really well.
Right. Right, so Buane is also joining us. GG's.
Hey everybody, GG's. GG Salty.
Thanks, GG, Gwen.
So
Yeah,
like
so-
we were saying to... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
So like we were saying to Swordify, this seed was really trying to get you in Turtle Rock as soon as you got that cane from Palace of Darkness. And Turtle Rock was basically your key to go mode.
Yeah, it was pretty on rails after that point. Kind of surprised. I thought I was doing better than I was, and ended up taking 6. So I guess I was in Pod a little bit late. Kind of I regretted doing the Northeast Dark World stuff to Pyramid and Catfish and Zora before Pod, but I really wouldn't change that much about how I approached this one. It was kind of dry in the middle, and you knew you were looking for. Once we got that hookshot hint, you're either looking for the cane so you can get the hookshot, or you're looking for the boots so you can get the bow, and you end up finding both in the same place pretty much. So pretty easy from that point.
Yeah, and the boot hint was actually in Eastern Palace itself, so even if you went to Eastern Palace before Ice Palace, you'd still want to be thinking, yep, got to go up to Turtle Rock to get that.
Okay, yeah.
those
I
boots
was
anyway.
wondering. I didn't check the hint in, I guess, Swamp when I walked past, and I hadn't gone in Eastern early. And I'm saying, even if the boots hint is there, that isn't gonna help because cane was the thing that was missing. So unless there was a hint that said, "Hey, go to Pod, get your cane," I don't think missing a hint was gonna hurt. Like the Back of Thieves, I didn't do, so I didn't get that hint either. Certainly, the longer it went without finding the boots, I was worried about a couple of those hints in places that other people could have got to them. But finding the boots where we did, it wasn't going to matter if there was a hint for that or not.
Yeah, so how about the loaded Paradox Cave? Both rods and what was in there? Like a medallion, I think?
It's
Yeah, it was
like a medallion.
Yep.
It wasn't like
medallion and
but
both rods,
Yeah.
making you think about Turtle Rock even more, except no cane at that point, sadly.
Yeah.
you didn't like need the Craig to actually get into either the medallion dungeons, but it filled out your medallions anyway, so you didn't need to worry about that. So getting in regardless.
And I did use Quake actually in Ice Palace to kill some of those pen gators, so it did end up proving to be somewhat useful.
Yeah, we were actually commenting on that at the time. So, like, the Quake medallion has a faster animation than the Bomber's medallion, and with the Bomber's medallion, you also have to wait for the pen gators to be lit on fire and then die, whereas the Quake medallion just instantly kills them. So, you can save some time there.
You just got to make sure you do it right away when you go in there, because if they do their little jump off the ground, all of a sudden they're considered in the air and it won't work on them. So you got to be pretty quick to use it in.
I had the brilliant idea of using all my bombs. I did the Taj bomb room in the first Pengator and said, "Oh, I've only got one bomb left. This is going to be interesting." So we had some bomb adventures in Ice Palace. Thankfully, I didn't miss the bomb jump, and I remembered to pick up the 2 on the right side while I was clearing that out. But yeah, probably should have gone with the medallion strats myself there. But you don't usually get to the mid game in Rando anymore with bomb trouble. There's usually so many chests you're picking up that have bombs, so I wasn't even paying attention to it. That and my Hera adventures. I don't know what was going on in Hera, but probably lost a place or two to randomly mirroring out of Hera instead of bomb jumping there.
Yeah, that was something we noticed as well, that you accidentally mirrored out there.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think I'll go back and watch it. I think I just mismenued and didn't realize it. I think I hit up left instead of up right to go to the bombs and just wasn't paying attention. Lined up the bomb jump and did not place a bomb. So that was a little weird, but I really pretty happy with the way this went. Not too many changes I think I would make. Maybe a little bit more aggressive to Pod, but it's not like Pod was the last thing I did either. There were a lot of things you could have done as different gambles, finish Thieves, dive Swamp Palace, things like that. Didn't end up doing. So it can't really complain too much.
Yeah, after Death Mountain with the fire rod, it basically opened up just about anything.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. The mid game was a little dry. Then you got up Death Mountain, you found some things to point you in a good direction, but it's just a question of how soon you got to Pod, and then a question of how much you checked after that, thinking where the sword's going to be, and pretty much you're going to find 2 swords right in your way no matter what, so that wasn't such a big deal either.
Yeah, it was pretty nice, and I almost did I was thinking about just running right by the one in Eastern, thinking I'd just search GT as usual to find one, because inevitably, out of all the times I've gone into GT looking for a sword, like there's only a handful of times that I've actually come out there without a sword. So more often than not, you come out with a sword that you need.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. I was actually, for the 2 rooms before the chest with the sword in Eastern, I'm thinking, do I open the big chest? Is it worth opening the big chest? Open that chest and say, okay, it's not worth opening the big chest anymore. There's your sword. But it's a fine balance sometimes. You don't want to be leaving swords that you are pretty close to, because that feels bad. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if you've only got 1 sword, chances are you make it to GT, there's gonna be a sword in there.
Yeah, we found the first sword like super late. It's like 30 minutes in.
Yeah, it was nice to be able to not feel like you're wasting a trip up Dark Death Mountain after seeing that sword on Floating Island. You're saying, I know I can't do Hookshot Cave, but look, there's my first sword, so it's totally worth walking all the way up here. But yeah, it wasn't standing in the way, because at that point, you could have made a really, really early Ice Palace play if you had a sword. That was the only thing that not having a sword was kind of preventing, but it's not like that would have paid off anyway. And you found the Fire Rod before you found the sword, so in the end, it wasn't so bad.
Wait, I do have a question actually. What is this early routing with like Dam into Agina before Kakariko and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there in Sphere 0 or Sphere 1 that you're going to do at some point anyway. I'm a big fan of getting to Agina early. I go Dam into Agina almost every seed just because I try to treat it the same as I would Ice Rod Cave. I see a lot of players like never, ever, ever skip Ice Rod Cave, but also never, ever go to Agina, and that doesn't make much sense to me. I feel like they're kind of the same location, just at opposite ends of the world. So I really am a proponent of doing Agina after the Dam, unless I've got like the flute or something already and I can do Agina pretty easily later, because you're just doing Agina so often by the end of seeds. Ironically, this seed you probably wouldn't do Agina if you didn't do it early, but so many seeds you're just going to do it, so I try to get out of the way. If it's something good, it can prevent making mistakes going to Aghanim in some seeds. You know, you can get a glove early that really like lets you do some more efficient checks early on. And the Kakariko delay is more just, I've got some stuff that I can do that's at least sort of efficient. You know, if I find a bottle, or if I find the flute before I go over to Kakariko, or if I find Dark World access and I can just jump into the Dark World right after Kakariko, it's probably not any better than... If it's right, it's only slightly right. Probably not going to make much of a difference either way. But for the most part, that's kind of the routing I've been playing with more recently, and I don't think it really punishes you too bad. It feels bad when you get a Kakariko around the 20-minute mark and you find boots in seeds, but other than that, it works out probably about as much as it doesn't work out. So still undecided if it's actually correct or not.
I was a little disappointed in how far or how late the boots actually were. When I saw that bow right there on the library early on, I was thinking, oh, we might actually get the boots early on, but then no, not so.
Especially with the early lamp, yeah, I'm thinking, all right, this is great. Boots are going to be really early, and we're going to get to go to Eastern, but yeah, no such luck. Something to be said for go mode boots, basically, though. So. That's never
at least this way you know that you're not really missing it relative to everyone else. Like I know in that expert mode race we did the other day where I ended up getting super late compared to everyone else, and that was kind of the big...
Yeah, if you eventually at the hour 20 mark go to Eastern and it's your last location and you haven't been going there because you know that the boots lead to the bow, and you find boots in there, and that feels bad because you know some people went Eastern early, and there's plenty of seeds like that, so it's nice to have one more that, even if the boots are going to be late, at least they're late for everybody.
Yeah, also, the garbage locations were actually pretty friendly today. We got a hint for the Fat Fairy not having anything pretty early on, and the Thief's Town Big Key locked, not Big Key, the Big Chest locked the key away, and Top Hera also had, I think, the small key locked away itself. So that was pretty pleasant.
Yeah, I didn't end up going too far into Thieves. Not with that mirror early. Just had a lot of efficient stuff to do Southwest, South Dark World. So that stuff mostly worked out. But yeah, I was, like I said, a little afraid of that hint. It's so... It becomes really frustrating when a dive into a pendant dungeon would have paid off because of a hint. So it was nice to have that not happen today. But I guess I just did too much overworld, though. In the end, too much overworld and not quick enough into pod. So seems to be the story here for me.
We had one of the other Restrained runners did clear Thief's Town, and I think one of them cleared all but the Maiden Chest and Blind. and no, actually, no, just blind. Just skipped blind. Picked up the maiden's chest. I remember now. So we do know that there was nothing of value in Feastown other than that mirror. But yeah, I feel like I'm almost a bit sad that I didn't get to play this seat because it seems like it was a pretty fun seat.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. No complaints on this end. Obviously, I would have preferred earlier boots, but that's a general thing with every seat, so...
Yeah. Who doesn't want early boots?
We just gotta start playing more overworld glitches, I guess. The one shining, redeeming quality of that mode.
And Trident Tail is going into Armos Knights now, will pick up their final crystal, and then make the climb to Ganon's Tower.
Chad pointed out something interesting on Creeder's side. He skips the big key chest in Turtle Rock, and he doesn't have the hookshot. So he's going into Trinex now without the hookshot.
Ooh, yeah. That is not good.
It can be pretty easy to muscle memory skipping that chest.
Yeah.
I've certainly done it and hadn't realized like 5 rooms later, wait a second.
I could see someone forgetting about Hookshot Cave as well in this one. I've done that before, where you get the hookshot in Turtle Rock and it just completely blanks that you haven't checked Hookshot Cave, and you just go off and do a whole bunch of other stuff instead.
I was jamming the select button as the screen transition was loading and stopped myself just in time, saying, "Hey, wait a second, we got Hookshot Cave right here." So yeah, it is. There's a lot of transitions and certain screen movements. Sometimes, if you're not focusing 100%, it's really easy to just lapse into something you normally would do, like skip vanilla big key or save and quit after T-Rock or something like that.
Yeah. Luckily, quote unquote, Kirito did see that hint in Eastern Palace that said that the boots are in Hookshot Cave, so is aware of that. But of course, without the hookshot, that won't help much.
He hasn't been down to Ice Palace, so he's not got that hint about the hookshot being in Turtle Rock. So he doesn't even know he's missing it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Once he kills Trinex, he's struggling a bit with Trinex here, but once he kills it, he should realize he's got an item missing and will go back for it. Trident Tail making his way into Ganon's Tower now. And that Tempered Sword is just like the best Tempered Sword you could possibly hope for coming into here. Because like you gotta go to the right side anyway to pick up your big key, there's no avoiding that. And then the Tempered Sword is just sitting right there, on your way to there. Kind of the same for Master Sword too in Eastern Palace. As long as you take the 1 second to open that chest just before going into the back of Eastern, you're gonna get that Master Sword.
In the meantime, while Trident Tail is making their way to find both the Tempered Sword and the big key shortly after, a couple more finishers here. Shire finishes in 7th place. Fat Boy Bowl 300 in 8th. Obscure Lifer in 9th. ETM in 10th. BBB Kermit in 11th. Mikan in 12th. F. Kaufman in 13th. UI Label, I probably butchered that name, in 14th, Nilsson Alex in 15th, and Clifford CS in 16th place. So GG's to those runners.
Trident Tail starting off with left side here on Ganon's Tower. Might also do Dark Magician like Brain did.
No, Trident does have the tempered sword, so has gone choke mode for it.
Oh, so he skipped out on going full, right? Okay, so this is going to cost him quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Okay. Thanks, game. So, in case both of you aren't watching Wayne and Salty, the gold sword was in the fireball room.
Dang, so sorry I missed out on that. Not sure it's gonna save much time though. I have actually been trying to find. I do like going left side first to at least the Stalfos room. I have been trying to find situations where it's okay to continue based on key counts and things like that to go full left, but it does seem pretty risky going all the way left and never touching the right side since the meta play is usually right side first, and if you get a key, continue. So you can end up playing yourself into a big time loss doing that.
Oh no! I mean, it's good for Tridents, because they can move on here and hopefully skip going to random room, but accidentally stepped into the portal next to random room. Is very angry about this. We'll just continue on. I hope Trident is gonna make a track to the right side before going back to random room. So it might end up in their favor depending on what they do after clearing out Ice Armos.
Kurita going in for another attempt at Trinex here. Having a lot of problems with Trinex. He keeps taking bites from the small heads and losing on his health. He's going for Master Sword strats now. He's got plenty of magic to work with, and the Master Sword is obviously a bigger hitbox, so it keeps him a little bit safer from those big head bites.
Oh yeah, because I'm just seeing Trident Tail picking up a heart container here. One thing I found very interesting is that for most of the seed, there wasn't a lot of health.
It was kind of weird. Most seeds you play these days, you're getting a lot of hearts early. But yeah, there were. I mean, I think I was in T-Rock with 8 hearts or something like that, which is not usually the way it works. I think though there were 2 hearts in T-Rock, and then we got 2 hearts in Mire immediately after. So then we were at a pretty good health level after that. Well, I mean, we had half magic, and there were mail upgrades everywhere too, so it wasn't it wasn't too dangerous. But it is weird. Anytime you're like an hour in and you have less than 13 hearts, it does not seem to be the norm these days.
Yeah, you definitely expect to have those hearts at some point in time in these races, but there was the armor, which helped a lot, and you had the cane and half magic if you wanted that as well. So there was lots of options.
And sadly, Trident Tail started going right and then decided, you know what, I do want to get that random room, so gonna lose a lot of time here.
I actually have to step out at this point, guys, but really appreciate the interview. Thanks for having me in here. GG again to Salty. Really nice time on this one. And as always, looking forward to the next one, everybody.
And thank you for giving us a great race, Salty.
Indeed.
Yeah, my pleasure. See you guys.
See you.
GG. I'm going to bail out as well. Thanks a lot, guys, for the restream. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you for stopping by, Salty, and GG's to you as well.
GG. So focusing back on our bottom 2 runners here, poor Kurita is having a really bad time with Trinex here. His last attempt, I think he had the left head almost dead, but he ran out of magic, so he couldn't actually finish it off and had to mirror back to front. That said, he has got all the small heads down now, so he's just got to He's on 1 heart, so he's got to stay alive here and not get hit by the Trinex snake, and he will have this fight
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Second phase Trenix, I feel, is a bit easier than the first phase, but can be a pain.
Keeping it safe by sticking to that Master Sword, and he finally gets Trinex down.
Indeed.
Trident Tail is on his way to the 4 chests at the end of right side, so he's going to get his big key phase shortly. Probably be a little upset about it.
Yeah. That also means for Kirito that Kirito will still have to dip back into Turtle Rock to pick up that hook shot.
He's kind of paused at the entrance here. He's probably thinking, have I missed an item in there? Do I want to leave that item behind or not? And he wants to leave it behind. Oh, that is unfortunate for him.
In the meantime, we have another finisher, Humbug, in 17th place. 1 out of 52. And Trident Tail makes their way into the gauntlet. Has to be very careful now. It's bottom 1 heart here. But does have still some potions. Can soldier on. Wonder what Kirito is. Oh, Kirito's gonna activate their flute now. Likely will be checking out Mire plus Desert here, I imagine.
Yeah, Trident Tail actually cleared Desert and finished off the boss, so we'll have to ask him about that. I'm thinking he's probably mismarked his track or something.
Yeah.
Desert Palace, Ice Palace. They're both palaces. There's a lot of palaces in Link to the Past, and not many actual rulers in those palaces.
Well, depends. There is a King Helmasaur in House of Darkness.
True. Hyrule Castle has a king, although he's the randomizer text calls him a Stalfos, and didn't even see him in the main game at all.
Yeah. Look at the Stalfos on the throne.
So Kirito's going to be checking out a bit more of Mire than Rain and Solidify probably did, and Trident Tail.
Yeah. And
Trident Tail is making his way through the gauntlet now. He's got plenty of hearts to go through here. He hasn't picked up the red mail, but he's got the gold sword, which is an additional bonus. So he's not really struggling in here.
Did not pick up that chest that in the Tank Eater room in Ice Palace, that fresh chest. Which is kind of a shame because I would have liked to see what the red mail of this Blue Sprite looks like. I've never seen that one.
Missing here silver rod shots on the Lamb Molliser, so 2 slashes of the gold sword are enough to take each of them out anyway.
Yeah.
Kirito is on his way to Ice Palace, so given that he checks his hint tiles, he is going to get that hint about the hookshot being in Turtle Rock, and will be kicking himself after that, most likely, but he'll have the knowledge at least.
That one is, I think, in that that bumper room, I think, the long one.
Yeah, it's in a really big ice room halfway down the dungeon.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it has a specific name or not.
It probably does, but I don't know all the room names either, so...
If you're playing the Super Metroid and Link to the Past combo randomizer, all of the rooms in the Super Metroid have a lot of really interesting names. I always like Billy May's room in that. It's a room where you get an item, but wait, there's more.
There's more, yeah. My favorite name in Super Metroid's name list is probably Bubble Mountain. But I don't even know all of the room names. Some of those have like very bizarre names. Like people say K45 is obscure and strange, but compared to something, some of the names in the Super Metroid run.
At least
Yeah.
K45 has the also acceptable name of Cave South of Grove. I don't know if one is more official than the other or not, but if you call it Cave South of Grove, everyone will know what you're talking about. It's just more words. K45 is way easier to say and type.
Yeah. Yeah. And Moldrum 2 goes down here for Trident Tail. The Super Metroid also has a gauntlet.
Yeah, but it's like a actual obstacle course gauntlet rather than a gauntlet you put on your hand and lift rocks with.
No, we Link to the Past does also have gauntlet as a area name for the TT section. Yeah.
I was just making a bad joke there.
Oh. I mean, they are not called Gauntlet in Link to the Past either. I think it was like Ocarina of Time that first called them Gauntlet, because in Link's Awakening it was a bracelet. But Ocarina had, I think, the gauntlets. And that was a pretty decent Aghanim 2 fight here for Trident Tail.
You know, I'm surprised we don't get any more Thanos memes with the Titan Smiths in Link to the Past.
And we're on to Ganon here for Trident Tail.
Kudo is at Coldstone now, and I don't think he got that hint about the hook shot. So he's going to be wandering around for a bit longer still.
Mm-hmm. We'll get the powder and probably check the magic bat after that. And,
well, apparently our tracker tells us he did, so...
Okay.
Yeah, shout-outs to our trackers once again, Itsu Demo and Full Metal for keeping us on track.
I see what you did there. And Cold Stare goes down here for Kirito. Who still is on the lookout for that hook shot. Depending on where they go next, okay, that mountain knows, okay, it has to be that chest I skipped. And makes a beeline for it. We'll then immediately be able to get the boots. So
all he could do otherwise would be to check out the front side of Swamp and the left side. Can't get into the back of Swamp without a hook shot. He could clear out Paths of Darkness, but not really in logic because he doesn't have the bow. I mean, you've got to get the boots to get the bow, and you've got to get the hook shot to get the boots.
Yeah, I mean, Kirito doesn't... If Kirito picked up both of those hints, and I think they did, they should know that, you know, what they have. So, Trident Tail, however, finishes here in 22nd place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 52 seconds. GG's to Trident. And between Homebook, which we already said was 17th, we had Soundrays 316 and 18th, Technolink in 19th, Mr. Paws in 20th, Chickson in 21st. And just a couple seconds after Trident Tail, Josh 124 in 23rd with 2 hours 4 minutes, and Ed Dom in 24th. So that's our finishers so far.
I can see Try and Tail over there in the Twitch chat, so we're asking, if you don't want to do a voice interview, that's fine, but we can talk to you in text chat at least. So, I remember your text file, your file name was Don't Be Dumb, and you didn't really do anything that dumb besides from, well, calling it dumb is quite rude, but I'd say, I'm guessing you probably mistracked something and put down Desert Palace as a crystal rather than a pendant, so you cleared Desert Palace and you got that pendant and thought, oh, it's got to be Ice Palace.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's dumbness. That's more just a mistake. A little, well, maybe not a little mistake, but at least Desert Palace isn't like a very long dungeon, so. And Kirito picks up their hookshot now. Mirrors out. We'll pick up the boots, hopefully, if you remember the hint. And there are the boots for Kirito.
He's just got to go over to get his bow, and he will be in go mode.
Indeed. Keep something fairy on the way. And then it's only Meyer, clearing out the bosses of Meyer, Eastern, and go-moding through Swamp, and then we're on to Ganon's Tower here on Kirito's side.
So it's on his way to make his second trip into Eastern Palace. He's already got that Master Sword in there, and he'll almost certainly pick up that Temper Sword from Ganon's Tower, so he should be in a good spot for finishing the siege. Should pick up those heart containers that were lurking in, I believe it was Mizumai, there were 2 heart containers there, so should be in a fairly good spot to finish this.
Also plenty of money to stock up on potions. So, looking at like the inventories, we never found where the Bugnet and the cape are.
Probably yeah, you probably got like a 1-2 combo on the left side of Swamp for those items. Because, you know, going left side Swamp would be entirely pointless, so have some pointless items.
Oh, we have one of the runners, not from the restream, but one of the runners in the race, saying that Kate was in the swamp, in the flooded room apparently.
Thank you, Idiom.
Indeed. Maybe King, since King's Helmasaur had an item, maybe he had the appointment. It's the only, or maybe it was. No, don't think it was on the pedestal.
Pedestal's Couch Cash.
Okay.
At least according to the credit screens on other 3 restreams here.
Yeah, I didn't read what that message said.
It could have been a really rude seed if the fluid was on pedestal.
Oh yeah.
We never got any hints about that fluid. We saw boots, we saw hookshot, but not the fluid itself. It just happened to be there in Turtle Rock along with everything else. Right, yeah, Creeder's going to stock up on some potions here. Good choice. Yeah, 4 blue potions and there still isn't even a blow of 1,000 rubies.
Shit.
Creeder making his way into Swamp, he may be checking out a bit more of it than other runners did, just to try and look for some swords or heart containers. So we might be seeing that cape in the flooded room. Oh, actually, he has just paused on the stream, and judging from ISE, Creeder unfortunately has forfeited from the race. He says he has to go do some stuff in real life, which didn't fault him for, because this was quite a long seed for him. So,
Yeah.
but I do want to thank him for sticking out this long.
Indeed. GG's
So-
either way.
Yes, GG. So that about covers our daily race. We have had a couple more finishers. I think we've got like one more person to go. I don't know who it is, but we have had.
No, I think Kirito was the last one. Yeah, because the DRC changed to race complete, so I assume that that was all.
Yeah, we had Josh124 finish in 23rd place after Trident Tail, and Ed Damp in 24th place.
Mm-hmm. Right. So thank you to Salty Fry, Bullying, Trident Tail, and Kirito for having this race with us on the restream, and of course, thank you to the other racers in the RC for participating. Congratulations to everybody, and let's see here what else we have for today on Speed Gaming for your entertainment. We have in about 20 minutes, we have the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer pod racing circuit on Speed Gaming 2. If you can wait a little longer, at 5 p.m., so in about 40 minutes, we have a Kirby Nightmare Dreamland Ending Percent tournament here on Speed Gaming. And there's a little bit of a pause. At 8 p.m. Eastern, we have on Speed Gaming 4 the Wind Waker Randomizer Weekly Race, as well as on Speed Gaming 2, the Luigi's Mansion No Out of Bounds tournament. And if you want to do or want to watch more ALTTPR, we do have at 9 p.m. the daily race, which is a spoiler race. So the runners will know where all of the items are and plan accordingly and try to find the fastest route. We also have an SMB3 Warpless tournament on Speed Gaming just before that at 8:30 p.m. And in case you didn't know, there is a Zelda 2 randomizer, in fact, and that one will have a weekly race, standard switch over on Speed Gaming 3 at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we're also going to have a double anti-bingo tournament for Super Metroid sometime tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern. Is not yet allocated with a channel, so keep an eye on that schedule to see when and where that exactly is going to happen.
Yeah, I have been loving that double anti-bingo tournament so far, and some really great races in that. And it's also just fun just to see the kind of combinations of cards you can come up with. So like going down to clear get all the map squares in Wreck Ship, and then go all the way down to do Ridley.
Yeah. And of course, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to our trackers, Full Metal and Eat to the Mo, and go follow the Restream Race of Salty Fry, Wayne, Kirito, and Trent. And we actually have Kirito here in the channel. GG's Kirito.
Sorry that I support it. If I rarely get the chance to race these days. It's that.
Sorry, your mic is kind of cutting out and very staticky.
Alright. This is one of the rare times I actually get to race, but when I do, I always seem to have to forfeit when my dad needs my help. Sorry about that.
Oh, it happens, you know.
To say that this scene was pretty good, other than I was actually hoping that there's a lot more useful items in Beast Town.
Yeah, sadly that.
I think the lack of heart containers set you back a bit in the for much of the middle part of this race, because you're kind of running around with not too much health to work with. It makes things dangerous, because like in a vanilla game, you'd have way more health than this oftentimes when you're doing stuff like Trinex.
And I was fighting Trinex with a level 2 sword and a hammer.
Well, you might like to know that you would have to do Trinex with a must sword anyway, because both remaining swords run in Ganon's tower.
Oh wow. It's a bug, man.
Yeah, so you'd have a quite rough time with Trinex. I saw you ran out of magic at one point, and you had to mirror out just to refill your magic. But well done for sticking it out anyway, and beating him and getting as far as you did.
My bow was basically my goal mode from there right there. That so I just go straight to fighting all the bosses.
Yeah, it's always like really annoying when that one chest you skip just happens to be the one chest that gets you go motive, which was for you the hookshot in Turtle Rock. Like Spotify and Brain Solify and Brain were our first two runners on the V-Stream to finish, and they both got decent, really good times, but they had also been to Ice Palace pretty early, and there was, of course, a hint in Ice Palace about the hookshot being in Turtle Rock, so they didn't skip anything in there at all.
Actually forgot that hint box right there. I usually skip that hint too, since that's usually out of the way. I thank you guys for the restream and being and our commentators and our trackers.
Yeah, and thank you too for joining us on the Daily Race V-Stream.
Thank you again, and you're welcome.
Right.
So, sorry.
So, yeah. So thank you again to Kirito for joining us, and of course all the recent runners. Thank you to our trackers, and thank you to you, Revolving Ocelot, for the co-commentary with me today.
No problem at all, and thank you too. And we do have one more daily race coming up on the schedule, like you mentioned, which is at 9 o'clock Eastern, the Spoiler Open. And I always like spoiler races just to see the kind of execution you can get in there, so I will be checking that out later if I'm still awake. But for now, thank you for joining us, Speed Gaming fans, and we will see you on the next race.
Indeed. Cheers and cheerio.